Good evening, YouTube. This is Evilness321, also known as Sukabu Nasotori, on the YouTube channel doing her first live stream event. I thought about doing a tutorial on art first. However, since I've gotten a few questions lately on my DeviantArt account, I decided to pretty much talk about what I'm using in my art, what products I use and how I use them. First off would be Prismacolor. I have this tin, the 132 pencil tin for Prismacolor, and you don't have to start off with that. You can start off with the simple 12 or 16 or whatever pencil tins I have, and I usually like to have multiple pencils, so I also have one of these handy containers to keep extras in or spares that I don't want in my bigger container right here that I have. This one is really handy that I like to use, and I can keep all the shades in order as well. It opens up. I got this just from the local art supply store downtown, $30. And for pens, I just use regular Pilot G27 for thicker line art, and for hair I like to use G2 0.05 Pilot pens. And sometimes I like just to have an extra fine point with this little fellow right here. Just regular things that you can find at your local Walmart store. And for my pencil, when I'm doing the sketches, I just use regular RoseArt mechanical pencils, usually the .05 or .07 pencil lead width. And when my Prismacolor pencils are starting to get really small, like this, I also have a handy pencil extender that you can get at your local art supply store as well. Just connect it to the end right here. Oops, sorry. And then that'll help extend the life of your pencil a little bit longer if, like me, you're dirt poor and you can't afford to go out and buy pencils whenever the heck you want to. For skin tones, I like to use markers. This is a light tan Prismacolor marker that I like to use for darker skin tones. And then there's also the cinnamon toast that I will sometimes combine with it to give the darker skin tones a healthier or more fuller look to them. And for shading of darker skin tones, I use Prismacolor dark brown. For regular skin tones, I just use light peach, which is right in here. Light peach Prismacolor pencil. And for shading with light peach, I use regular or beige. So there's a few options there. You can use RoseArt, you can use Crayola to start off with, because Prismacolor is generally on the pricier side for pencils at the store that I go to. They're generally $1.30. So If you want to start off with something simpler, you can use Rose Art or, like I said, Crayola. That's what I started out with when I was 8 years old or so, until I felt confident enough to graduate to the higher levels. For blending, I just use regular blending stumps with Gamsol. It's odorless and it works great with colored pencils as well as acrylics and oil colors. I was actually brought onto that one by the store owner when I was looking around New Year's a couple years ago. And one tip that I have, because I notice a few people on DeviantArt are asking artists how their line art can get so smooth if they don't use Photoshop or any digital enhancements, is waiting 10-15 minutes after you ink your sketches before you start erasing the pencil work. And that will hopefully end any struggles or issues you might have been having with the ink smudging. Another way to pass the time while waiting for the ink to dry is I usually just start on another image while I'm waiting for that, and by the time I'm done sketching and inking that image, the previous picture will be dried and ready to be dealt with without having to worry about smudges. Something I've come up against lately is pencil lead breaking when you're trying to sharpen pencils and you're trying to sharpen too many of them, like too many being 10 to 15 at a time if you're doing what some would call a mass pencil sharpening marathon. And sometimes I've found that getting the proper pencil sharpener for the job will help save some time and eventually, or essentially, money, because certain brands with the pencil sharpeners are built specifically for that pencil, because the pencil leads have different hardness and thickness or soft cores, and especially with Prismacolor they tend to have softer cores. And so just a couple months ago, actually, I went out and with my mom I got the Prismacolor sharpener, and I've actually found that to be a great way to extend the life of your pencils as well. So I think that pretty much covers what I wanted to talk about with the art supplies and tips on what I use and how I use them. If you have any questions, you can feel free to go to my DeviantArt page or comment on this video. Thanks for watching, and hope you hang around for some more videos from me, and good night.